Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, you're very welcome. My name is Kuskus and this is the Get Ahead family. Here I share opportunities to migrate abroad through jobs and through studies. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing specifically about what you should do after you have submitted your UK student visa. We all know that for you to apply for a UK student visa, you have to go to the UK VI website to make the application. And then when you make the application, you're going to pay your IHS fees and then you're going to pay your visa fees and then you will submit the application. What then happens after you submit this visa application? That's what I'm going to be talking about today, and that's because I've been getting a lot of questions around visa. I'm going to be addressing all of that. So if you're going to be applying for UK student visa or you know somebody who is going to be doing that, stick around, watch this video, share this video with them, subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do so, and let's get right into this video. So the first thing you have to do when you're done submitting your visa application is to print your visa application itself and the document checklist that is going to be given to you. Based on the information that you provided on the visa application, UK VI will generate documents that you should submit to prove all the things or to support your application. So the document checklist is going to list all the documents that they believe you should provide in order to support your claim in the visa application. The document that you usually find in the document checklist would be your travel documents, which is like your international passport, proof of finances if you're a minor, letter of consent, and different things like that. So your document checklist may be different from another person's document checklist based on their circumstances. So don't look at another person's document checklist. Focus on your own document checklist. Another thing you should understand is that if there are things in your visa application that you think might cast doubt in your application, then you should provide a letter of explanation, okay? Then you should provide a document to back it up. For instance, if there are gaps in your studies and you have an explanation to read, you can provide a letter or a document to show. If your name is not written properly, maybe the name on your international passport is different from the name on your official certificate. If you have an affidavit, whether it is there in your document checklist or not, you have to include it so that you can use it to explain yourself, right? If there are any disparities in your documentation, it is in your place to address that. Maybe you provide additional documents to clear the air for the visa officer to look at while assessing your visa application. Now, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because some people will say, oh, when I printed my document checklist, they did not ask for affidavit. Because they don't know. Because they don't think that there are any issues, or they don't know that they're going to encounter a different name in one document and a different name in another document. So the responsibility is all yours to address all of those things. So it is your responsibility to ensure that you upload as many documents as possible to address your issues. Okay? Somebody also asked me, oh, Kuskus, in my document checklist, I saw financial sponsor, I saw proof of sponsorship, I saw award letter, that's for scholarship applicants. So if you're a scholarship beneficiary and you see letter of award and proof of sponsorship, your letter of award is sufficient because, once you provide your letter of award of scholarship, it details the organization, the funds, and everything. So if you're a scholarship recipient, it should not allow it to bother you. If you see award letter and evidence of financial sponsor is one and the same thing, okay? So after you submit your visa application on the UK VI website, the next step for you to take is to visit the website of a UK visa application center. In this case, TLS Contact website. The website is tlscontact.com. The essence of visiting tlscontact.com is so that you can book a date for biometric capturing. Biometric capturing is the day they are going to take your pictures, your fingerprint, your biometrics, so that they can use it to process your visa application and produce a biometric residence permit. If you do not visit the visa application center to get your biometrics captured, your visa application will not be processed. When people ask, oh, if my visa is refused, will I get a refund? This is what usually happens with the refund. If you have submitted your visa application on the UK VI website, you've paid visa fees, paid IHS fees, but you have not visited a TLS contact office to submit your documents and get your biometric captured, you are free to ask for a full refund. However, if you have visited the TLS office to get your documents submitted and biometrics captured, that is the day that your visa application would begin to be processed. So by that time, if anything happens to your application, you will not get a refund. You may only get a refund of the IHS surcharge, that's the health insurance fees, but you won't get a refund of the visa fees. Away from refund, now let's go back to the TLS contact. If you do not visit a TLS office in your country or the nearest office to you to submit your documents in support of your visa application and to get your biometrics captured, your visa application will not be processed. Now, how do you get to TLS website?
First of all, you have to log into your visa application on the UK VI government website.
You're going to log in to your application. This is your application, right? This is to make arrangement to provide your documents. You only provide documents on TLS website. Once you click here, it's going to take you to TLS website to book an appointment. TLScontact.com. When you come to the website, they are going to ask you to select the centers in Nigeria. For instance, TLS has 3 centers in Nigeria: Abuja, Lagos, Ikeja, and Lagos Victoria Island. Then you would select. So guys, sorry, my light went off, so I have to stand so I can use natural light. So I was saying that when you're done submitting your visa application, you go to TLS website to book an appointment. Now, there are different ways that you can book an appointment on TLS website depending on how urgent the application is or how urgent you want your visa to come out. Now, when you go to TLS website, you have to choose a date that is available. So you're going to be able to choose any available date. But let's now say that you choose a date that you think, oh, maybe 3 weeks away or one month away, depending on the time. There was a time I booked and I was able to get a date in 3 days or 4 days, right? Depending on how busy the TLS in your location is. This is TLS website. So when you go to TLS website, you can always get different services for an additional fee. So you will see Premium Lounge, Express Courier Return. Premium Lounge is for the day of your appointment. Express Courier Return is when your visa decision is out, they would send your passport back to you via Express Courier. Single visit package. It says you save time and money with only one trip to our visa center and enjoy the security of keeping your passport with you throughout your visa application. So there's a way that you would, after you submit your application, you will still go back home with your passport until a decision is made. So it says flexi appointment or prime time appointment. So if you want a flexi appointment, when you log in, you can pay for it. It says don't worry about delays and traveling during busy times when booking your appointment. Choose flexi and arrive when it suits you. So you pay about £89, which is equivalent of 44,000 naira on their website. Of course, the exchange rate is no longer the same, so it's going to be more money now. Prime time appointments. Can't come to our visa center during business hour? You book this service so you can come a different time. When you are trying to book a biometric capture date, you can add all of these services for an additional fee.
When you're done selecting the services that you need, you will now proceed to book an appointment. This is what the appointment page looks like. There is assisted service and there is self-service. So you would have to select the part that applies to you. This is what the logos mean, okay? Regular will upgrade to premium. This time you can upgrade to premium. Assisted service is the bland one. To minimize the time spent, we recommend self-upload of supporting documents where possible. And these are all the times that are applicable for appointment hours reserved for super priority visas. Because the appointment was assisted service, I booked under assisted service. Okay, you have selected a prime time appointment. Please, if I'm talking too fast, just pause the video and read what is on the screen. Okay, after you have selected the date, it is time to check out. Okay, you have selected a prime time appointment for that time, and these are the services I booked. So it is time to pay. It says, please note that separate payments will be required for UKVI and for TLS contact. So you say, I understand. So we're going to first pay for the priority visa, which is going to go to UKVI. And then when we are done with this particular payment, we now go to TLS. So they're asking for your shipping details. Your shipping details is the address that is linked to your account. I used my UK bank account to make the payment because I wasn't sure if Nigerian card will make that payment. So it says you have paid for UKVI service. Please proceed to second payment for TLS service. Okay, you can pause to read what is on the screen. So we continue to check out and we make payment. I used a Nigerian card for this one because, as you can see, the figures is in Naira, and that means a Nigerian card will work. And this particular payment is for TLS. So payment authentication, OTP sent to your phone number, and payment successful. Thank you for your order. A confirmation email has been sent to you with further instructions. Please check your mailbox. You can then click to view your application, and this is what the dashboard looks like. Your reference number, you can amend your appointment. That's your appointment time, and you can return to UK government website if you want, as well as you can be able to track your application. Once you make the payment, this is what your application looks like. So you have to go to TLS to now do the rest of the application. Please note that if you are using self-service, you will be able to upload your document at this point. Okay, I didn't do self-service. That's why there was no point for me to upload documents. This is what you need to know. If it is self-service, you must upload your document by yourself using the portal, TLS portal.
All the documents on your document checklist, you would upload your document by yourself and ensure that you follow all the instructions. Always try to upload PDFs, clearly scanned copies of document. Do not upload a document that is not clear or legible, okay?
Let me repeat this. When you're trying to book your appointment and you had selected self-service, make sure you navigate to the self-service part to book your date.
Now, there's an alternative. If you don't want to upload the documents by yourself because you're scared or you don't want to make a mistake, there is another option that is assisted service. Now, when you tick assisted service, when you visit the visa application center on the day of your biometric capture date, you will hand over your document to the visa officer and they will help you upload it. That's assisted service. So assisted service here, it says here £25, but the Naira equivalent is 12,300. So maybe because of the exchange rate, it might increase or it might still be the same amount. Another service that you can get is prime time appointment. In fact, there is a time I went to visa application center and I booked a prime time appointment. I got like a very early morning slot for an additional fee. So that's something you can also book. Prime time appointments could be like very early in the morning, like 7:30, 8 a.m. Before every other person comes, you're already there. So you can do your processes and go back home. Meanwhile, as you're watching this video, if you have any questions, drop it in the comment section, okay? And if you think that you're gaining value, please subscribe if you're yet to. Share this video. I know that it will help other people. So the standard duration for UK visa application is usually 21 days. However, if you want your decision to come out at a shorter time, you can book a priority service or super priority service. Priority service says £250. Priority service, your visa will be out. Get your application decision within 5 working days. The super priority is usually application out within 24 hours, which is very expensive. On the day that you're visiting the visa application center, that's the TLS, first of all, make sure that you go on time. Go at least 30 minutes or 1 hour to your appointment time, but I would recommend 30 minutes because they would usually not allow you to go in before it is time for your appointment. So yeah, 30 minutes is a good enough time so that whatever happens, if they ask you to provide a document you don't have, you can easily go and print it and come back. And if you uploaded self-service, I would still advise that you carry all the documents, maybe a copy of all the documents that you think you've uploaded, just in case there is an issue. You can still pay money, hand the documents over to them for them to do a correct upload, okay? Always go with all your documents just in case, because the thing about visas are, when you go there, there's so much drama on that day. There is so much drama. In fact, you will see people running helter-skelter on that day, which is why you have to go on time, go early, and go with all your documents, including additional copies, including extra cash. Because if you get there and they're like, you don't have this document, we need it, or this document that you uploaded is not clear, you have to pay for the assisted service so they upload your documents, okay? If you've done a TB test or if you're qualified to do a TB test, always go with it, including all your documents in the document checklist and maybe photocopies. Now, another thing you have to note is when you go there, dress smart. You're probably going to be lining up a lot of time, so don't even wear shoes that are very uncomfortable. Wear very comfortable shoes, because you're going to be standing majority of the time. There's a lot of queuing at visa application center, so you would need to wear comfortable shoes so that you will not hurt your feet. Wear comfortable clothes. Of course, that one is easy. There's really no dress code usually, but dress decently, okay? Dress decently. As a lady, if you're going to for your capturing, they'll ask you to pack your hair to the back, so try to put your hair in such a way that you pack it to the back. They want to see 2 of your ears. They usually want to see 2 of your ears when they are capturing you. They're going to ask you to take off your glasses, so you're going to take off your glasses, you're going to capture. No smiling. They'll tell you what to do when you get there, but you have to be very attentive, because when you are done submitting all your documents and you're waiting to be captured, they're not going to come and shout your name or your number. You have to look at the screen. Your number will be called on the screen, and the room that you're supposed to go to will show, because at that time phones are not even allowed. You can't even use your phone, so I don't even have a clip to show you guys with that one. So you have to be very attentive. If you're confused about anything, ask questions. If you don't want to go back to the visa application center to collect your passport, because I can guarantee you, don't bother, don't go. Do you want to go through that stress? Anyways, when I went to pick up my passport, it wasn't that stressful, to be honest, and that's because I'm in Abuja. I don't know about Lagos, but it wasn't that stressful because people that are coming for collection are queuing on a different queue, right? Are on a different queue, so it might not be as stressful as it was when you first visited for biometric capturing. However, our preference would be that maybe just pay for the courier service, so that when your passport is ready, courier will bring your passport to you. But this is what you need to note: if you get an email that your visa decision is ready and you visit the visa application center before 4 p.m. that day, or before the approved time that they will tell you, you would collect your passport. But if it was courier service, you would likely not collect your passport, or courier will not deliver your passport on the day that you get the email. It will probably be, if it was like express courier can come the next day or the day after. So if you're in a hurry, if you know that maybe you're running out of time, school has resumed, you want to travel immediately, when you go to apply for your visa, opt to come back to pick it, because the day you get that email, you can always go and collect. But if it is courier, you're not going to collect your passport on that day. I want to believe I've covered all the questions or all the concerns that you may have. If you have any question, put it in the comment section.
Once you're done at TLS office, you can always track your application on the TLS website. Just log in to your application and then you'll see the different stages.
Track the stages of your application in real time. By the end of yesterday, I had gotten an email that the application has been transferred to DMC. So when I came, this one, application transferred to DMC, was ticked, but the rest was not.
So you can always check the stages of your application, and once it gets to application received by VAC, you would likely get an email to come to the visa office to collect your passport.
This is, biometric enrollment done when I went to do biometric, which was on Monday. Application transferred to decision making center. This was still on Monday. And then on Tuesday, it was application received by decision making center. So it was like this on Tuesday and on Wednesday. When I opened it last night, which was Wednesday, it was still here, application received. Now, between last night and today is Thursday, I now see application transferred to VAC, application received by VAC, passport picked by applicant. So they have given it to the courier because I use courier. If I hadn't used courier, I would have seen the email that says come to the office to pick up, and I would have gone to pick up. So I'm just waiting for the courier to deliver. That was quite fast because priority service is meant to be out within 5 working days. So they made this decision within 4 working days, which is very, very impressive. I'm just going to wait patiently for courier to bring my passport.
Good afternoon. You can sign here.
With my hand?
Yes.
Thank you. I've collected the passports. See it here.
When your visa decision comes, it will come with a decision letter and your passport. The vignet, the visa vignet will be stamped on your passport, on a page in your passport, and the decision letter would list out all the conditions of your visa. Oh, this visa allows you to work. If it's a student visa, of course, 20 hours. If it's a work visa, they will list all the conditions of your visa. Now, when you collect your passport and the decision letter, ensure to read all the decisions. The vignet on your passport is for 90 days. It is valid for 90 days from the day that it is approved. For instance, if your visa decision is approved today, maybe 1st December or let's say 1st September, you have 90 days from 1st September to enter the UK, because that is just an entry permit. It is when you arrive in the UK that you will receive your biometric card. That's your biometric residence permit, which is now your visa. So if you receive your visa decision and the vignet on your passport, you have to enter the UK at least 90 days from that day. They are going to tell you the timeline that you have to enter the UK. It will be written there on the visa vignet. Now, when you arrive in the UK, you will see it in your decision letter that it takes at least 10 to 14 days for your biometric residence permit to be ready. So if you are a student and you've already booked a student accommodation, that will be very easy for you, because you will just arrive in the UK, go to your student accommodation. After 10 or 14 days, you will go and collect your biometric residence permit.
And if you are yet to book your student accommodation, it is not too late. But hurry up and book, because student accommodations do go very fast, especially because of the UCAS deadline. For undergraduate students who have not yet submitted their UCAS application, UCAS application deadline is 31st of January 2024 for those who are interested in studying during 2024-2025 academic session. If you are yet to book your student accommodation, go to the description box and click the link to Amber Student website right now to secure your student accommodation. I don't want to hear, oh, couscous, I don't have where to stay, so that you avoid all the challenges I'm about to share in the next clip.
But if you are not a student, or if you're a worker or any other person and you're going to be looking for accommodation to rent in the UK, usually when you arrive in the UK, for you to rent an accommodation, you would need something that is called right to rent share code. Now, the right to rent share code is a number that you can only generate on the UK VI website with your biometric residence permit. So if you don't have an accommodation and you come into the UK, depending on the landlord that you encounter, some landlords will insist that even with the visa vignet that they have seen on your passport, they'll say, we're sorry, we cannot give you an accommodation until you give us your right to rent share code. Well, you cannot blame them, because it is government policy. Other ones might pity you and say, okay, I'll allow you to stay until your residence permit is ready, and then you can give them the share code and to show that you have the right to rent. If you're having that kind of issue, I'll just recommend book a hotel or Airbnb, or stay with family until you get your biometric residence permit. When your biometric residence permit is ready, wherever you included in your visa application form, whether it was post office or your school or any address that you included on your visa application form, that is where you would get your biometric residence permit. And usually you might get a text message, but maybe not always. But you have to follow up. When you are going to collect your biometric residence permit, go with your passport. Go with your passport, because you have to show them your passport and where they pasted the visa vignet. Without your passport, you will not be able to get your biometric residence permit. When you receive your biometric residence permit, do not carry it around. Keep it in your house. Take a picture of it, put it in your phone, scan it, save it in your email. But the card itself, keep it. Because if you misplace that card, you have to pay for another one, and it might not come in a month or two. So you have to be very careful. It is only when you are leaving the UK that you should take your biometric residence permit, because if you don't take your biometric residence permit and you're leaving the UK, they may not allow you to come back inside. Anyways, I think I've been talking a lot. Let me know if this video has been helpful. Do well to share this video to people that you know it to help. Drop your questions, like this video. Let me know if it was helpful. I wish you all the best in your visa application. And if you have any other video recommendations, drop it in the comment section. This video, I have just been all over the place because my light did not want me to shoot and it was just frustrating, but I really needed to make this video because I've been getting a lot of questions around this. That's it, guys. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye. when you've submitted your documents, they handed over your documents to TLS officials. When you've visited